It starts quietly, almost invisibly, the way many scandals do. A private friendship, a few photographs, whispers dismisses rumors. For years, most people believed it would never reach the surface. After all, this was royalty, a man born into privilege, protected by tradition, ceremony, and silence. But sometimes, even the strongest walls crack. And when they do, what spills out doesn't just damage one man, it shakes an entire nation. This is a story of Prince Andrew and how royal favors, personal choices, and scandal became a national embarrassment Britain could no longer ignore. For much of his life, Prince Andrew enjoyed a position many could only dream of. As the second son of Queen Elizabeth II, he grew up at the heart of the monarchy, surrounded by duty but also extraordinary privilege. In his younger years, he was seen as charismatic, confident, even heroic. His service in the Royal Navy during the Falklands War earned him public admiration, and for a time, he was one of the most popular members of the royal family. Andrew wasn't just a spare royal, he was a symbol of continuity, prestige, and national pride. But behind that polished image, cracks were already forming. As years passed, Andrew struggled to find a meaningful role that matched his status. Unlike his elder brother King Charles III, whose life was shaped by preparation for the throne, Andrew drifted. Eventually, he was appointed as a UK trade envoy, a role that gave him global access, influence, and power, and little oversight. It was during this period that his choices would begin to haunt him. Andrew's association with Jeffrey Epstein would prove catastrophic. Epstein, later exposed as convicted sex offender involved in trafficking and abuse, moved within elite circles for years, protected by wealth and connections. Andrew's friendship with him raised eyebrows early on, but was initially brushed aside as poor judgment rather than something darker. That excuse did not age well. As more information emerged, the public began asking a devastating question. How could a senior royal maintain such a relationship even after Epstein's crimes were known? The turning point came when allegations surfaced from women who claimed they had been trafficked and abused by Epstein and his associates. One accusation directly implicated Andrew. Though he denied all wrongdoing, the damage was immediate and severe. The palace initially responded with caution, issuing carefully worded statements and hoping the storm would pass. It didn't. Instead, it grew. Media scrutiny intensified. Public outrage escalated. The monarchy's reputation, built on moral authority and tradition, began to wobble. Then came the interview. Andrew sat down for what was supposed to be a chance to clear his name. Instead, it became one of the most disastrous television appearances in modern royal history. His explanations were widely seen as evasive, tone-deaf, and lacking empathy. Viewers were stunned not only by what he said, but by what he failed to say. There was no visible remorse, no acknowledgement of the pain suffered by victims. In that moment, public sympathy collapsed. The interview didn't save Andrew. It sealed his fate. As pressure mounted, the consequences followed swiftly. Andrew was stripped of his military titles and royal patronages. He was removed from public duties. Once a symbol of royal confidence, he became a liability the monarchy could no longer defend. Behind palace doors, senior figures face a grim reality. Protecting Andrew was now actively damaging the crown itself. The cost of silence had become too high. Financial fallout soon followed. Andrew agreed to a multi-million-pound settlement in a civil case without admitting liability. While this avoided a public trial, it raised uncomfortable questions. Where did the money come from? Why was a royal figure able to resolve such serious allegations without full judicial scrutiny? For many Britons, this felt like privilege at work, justice negotiated behind closed doors while ordinary citizens faced the full force of the law. But the scandal didn't stop there. Reports began emerging suggesting Andrew may have used his royal position to grant access, favors, and influence in ways that blurred ethical and national boundaries. Allegations surfaced that he shared sensitive information during his time as trade envoy, potentially compromising national interests. Whether or not these claims lead to legal consequences, the perception alone was devastating. A prince entrusted with representing Britain appeared to have treated his role as a personal asset. Public anger intensified. Polls showed overwhelming support for removing Andrew completely from royal life. Commentators questioned how an institution funded by taxpayers could continue shielding someone associated with such serious allegations. The monarchy, once seen as distant but dignified, now faced demand for transparency and accountability. The idea that royal blood could excuse moral failure was no longer acceptable to a modern public. Within the royal family, divisions deepened. Andrew's continued presence at private events sparked backlash, particularly as images surfaced showing him appearing unbothered by the controversy. For many, this lack of visible shame was infuriating. It contrasted sharply with the pain expressed by survivors and the reputational damage endured by the nation. The scandal also forced a reckoning about the nature of power itself. Andrew's story wasn't just about one man's mistakes. It was about how privilege can insulate individuals from consequences for far too long. It exposed how systems designed to protect tradition can be manipulated to avoid accountability. And it raised a question Britain could no longer ignore. Should anyone be above scrutiny simply because of birth? For the monarchy, the damage has been profound. Trust, once lost, is hard to rebuild. Every future action is now viewed through a lens shaped by this scandal. Efforts to modernize the institution, champion transparency, and reconnect with the public have all been overshadowed by Andrew's legacy. Even those with no direct involvement have felt the consequences. As time passes, Andrew's role in public life continues to shrink. He exists now on the margins, stripped of authority, influence, and respect. Yet the impact of his actions lingers. His story is cited in debates about reform, privilege, and justice. It has become a cautionary tale told not just in Britain, but around the world. And so we return to where we began. A quiet friendship, a few photographs, warnings ignored. What started as whispers became headlines. What was once hidden became undeniable. Prince Andrew did not simply fall from grace.